Hello and welcome back to CoyoteCustomz. Here today in this episode, we are going to drain the coolant in the Mustang. We're going to clean up the upper and lower intake because we're going to be putting it on in a couple days. Wanted to get everything cleaned up, get the engine taken apart, get it all the coolant taken out of it, so it's all ready to go. Let's just get started. As you can tell, I'm trying to get this petcock loose on the radiator so I can start draining out this coolant. No matter what you do, you're gonna get coolant all over you. So I got this nice pan. I really want to get this the rest of the way off, but I have a feeling I'm going to get drenched. Well, at least it looks like really clean coolant. That's always a good sign. There she is. All right, now that I only got myself partially wet, we can let that drain and get as much coolant as we can out of the system. So that way, when we go to take everything else off, we will not have any pressure in the line or any coolant left in the system. So this is something you want to do. All right, so I'm going to try a couple things here. We're going to try a product I've been testing out. It's called Release. I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube and stuff like that. I came across it on one of the car YouTube channels I watch. Was really impressed with some of the demonstrations he was showing. So I decided to try it out myself. And so far I've really liked it. It's really great on countertops. And countertops, you got your oven. On the top of your oven, we have a gas oven. So clean that right up, all the oil and grease and all that kind of stuff that gets spilled from the pots. So let's give it a shot here. It's supposed to be really safe. You could use it in the interior and such as well. So let's give it a shot here and see if this even breaks down any of this. Just have it in an IK sprayer. And this is their ready to use formula. They also have a concentrate that you can use to make up your own, and it is a very good price for what you're getting. This might be just a hair too much for just like a simple cleaner, but it did clean up a lot of the oil and grease. So let's take this and shoot it with some parts cleaner. We're making some progress. This is not going to be perfect. I might go ahead, if I can't get much of this clean, and go get some really heavy degreaser and in a tub, put some water in it, and just let this soak. My dad's coming over on Saturday, the timing of this video, and we're going to try to get this thing, at least the lower intake off, and we're going to get the new one on, get this lower on the car, get it plumbed up, I got to figure out some way to get the PCV system back on. Previous owner took it off, so it's starting to get a little bit of blow by on the headers. Actually started smoking on my wife the one time that she actually drove it, the first time she drove it. So now she said I need to get the PCV system back on before she'll say she'll go out and take it. So we're gonna get that all going. Going to also swap out the clock spring in the interior, put the steering wheel on, so that's all buttoned up. So I'm gonna work at this a little bit longer. All right, so we're gonna see about taking this with the hose here. Let's see if we can get any of this cleaned up. Oh yeah, definitely looks a lot better. I mean, like I said before, not gonna be perfect. At least wanted to get, look at all that. Supposedly this was off a really low mileage 95 Cobra. I'm not really sure. You know, I haven't taken many of these off, so I'm not really sure if that's normal or not with these cars. But let's see what the final. Oh yeah, so there's still some gunk in there. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a tub and I'm just gonna set this in here, and we're gonna set this overnight, or at least for an hour or so I can get all this channels and stuff like that, and see if that cleans it up a little bit better. But it's definitely a lot better than it was. So, all right, well, let's go try to find a tub and get some cleaner, and let's try this out. So I went out and got some super clean. Wanted to try and see if that would work a little bit better. We just had some generic degreaser at the house. So I did a little test spot on it, full strength, like how it says in the bottle, and a lot of the grease came off, and the dirt and the grime and the oil. So I have it sitting in the bucket right now, filled it up to the top. So we're gonna see how it does. Haven't really used Super Clean that much. I know a lot of people use Super Clean, Purple Power. Drop a comment down below. Which one do you guys like the best, and what do you use it for? If this thing comes out well with the Super Clean, I might have to start keeping it on the shelf. I was actually pretty impressed with it. And I know a lot of people use it for detailing and stuff like that. I never really have. I've either used a dedicated interior cleaner or all-purpose or something to that effect. Now I'm going to end up using Release as my interior cleaner, leather, dash, all that kind of stuff. So you'll be seeing that a lot more on the channel. I'm excited to see what I can get done with that type of cleaner. Hopefully Release maybe come out with some other stuff down the road. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure on that. But I think we're gonna let that soak for a little while, and I want to see if it's gonna get any of the more out. I mean, like I said, it's not gonna be perfect, but as much as I say that, I really like it to be nice and clean. Just got to use what I have, and one day I'll have a big shop, like I said before. So I'm really kind of touched on a little bit of what I wanted to do with this car. Like I said, get the engine back together. I believe I'm going to go to Livernois and drive it to Michigan either this year. We're going to see how it runs, because it's got the Holley in it, so hopefully the Holley will self-adjust. I don't really think the stuff that we're doing is going to really mess with the tune very much, but I would like to drive it out or trailer it to Livernois in Michigan to get it dyno tuned. That's another thing that my 14 Mustang is switching over to Livernois this year. We're gonna get that tune from them. Haven't really touched the tune in that for about 8 years or so, and I really need to get it redone. It doesn't really run idle as great as I would like it to, so we're gonna get all that taken care of this year. But this, like I said, hopefully it runs perfect, and then we can drive it around, everything like that, and then book an appointment with them to get it dyno tuned, have him mess with the Holly. Just wanted to kind of go over this car a little bit this year. The plan is to maybe get one of those quick jacks so I can be able to mess with the cars inside here, especially the 2 Mustangs. It'd be a lot easier than floor jack and jack stands. So we'll see about getting my dad over here on Saturday. We'll get that all buttoned up, try to get as much as we can. It's been a couple days since I started this video, and last we seen, I was cleaning up the lower intake, and came out pretty good. Like I said, nothing could be perfect. So yesterday, my dad came over, and I didn't get to film much because we're kind of on a time crunch. Only had a few hours to get some stuff done. So we were able to take the stock lower intake off. We test fitted the lower for now, and then as you can see, we put the upper intake on. But after further review, I think what we're gonna do, after checking the upper out a lot, the paint is starting to flake, and I'll bring you guys in here in a few minutes here and show you what I'm talking about. But the upper intake is starting to flake, some of the black paint here. So what I'm gonna do is, I got my dad's buddy is going to help me out. We're gonna sandblast this all out and redo it. Probably gonna powder coat it. I think I'm gonna powder coat it probably silver. And I wanna see some of your guys' comments down below to see what you think. I think what I'm gonna do is a factory silver, silverish, primish color. And then I think I'm gonna still do the black here. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do about the Cobra lettering, if I'm gonna leave it silver, or I'm gonna do maybe red or something like that to make it pop. Don't wanna make it too overly gaudy, but I wanna make it pop in the engine bay. So I think what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna just take some of this release cleaner that I've been testing out on the channel here. Definitely is something you guys should probably take a look at as well. Can pretty much do anything with it. Clean any surface. It's very safe. Use it in your house, use it in your kitchen. I showed a demonstration on my Instagram of doing it on the wheels. And these have chrome wheels on them, so you know how these things are very, very difficult to clean sometimes. You never seem like you can get them clean enough, but this thing did a great job, wiped it clean. Very impressed with that cleaner. You'll be seeing it a lot more on the channel here. So what this is a ready-to-use concentrate that they send out, 20-to-1 from their recommendation. That's pretty much like an all-purpose, all-surface type of cleaner that for general use. And then use it in the pump sprayer here. So we get a couple pumps. And I'm just going to take some cheap microfiber rags here. I like to spray it on the rag a little bit, get it damp. And then I'm just gonna very gently go in there and clean some of this area here. It's not too dirty, just a lot of grime and stuff from over the years. This engine was just put back in a couple years ago, so there's not a whole lot of grime. Really, I should, if I want to make this perfect, I should take the engine out and repaint all this, because there is some imperfections, as you can see here. So, like I said, just kind of clean it up a little bit here. Give us a little bit better surface to work with. Obviously, none of this is bolted down. We just kind of put it up there because won't be for a couple more weeks until we're able to get the rest of the car done. So what I'll do is I'll bring you in. As you can tell, right here, starting to crack. It was not prepped correctly, whoever painted this. And see all the pitting and some of the areas of the paint coming up. We're gonna get that all fixed up and get it back to as good as it's gonna get. It should look really good, back to like an OEM type of finish. So that's the goal here. I figure, you know what, I could slap it on, but I'm very particular with a lot of this stuff. So as soon as I would have put it on, I would have wanted to take it back off and get it redone. So I might as well just go ahead and do it now. While the car is completely torn apart, I think I am going to replace these hoses as well. Someone put Goodyear hoses on, and I was actually really upset on how these came off. They weren't very pliable, very hard. And I didn't like the fitment of them. So I think what I'm gonna do is get the Mishimoto whole hose kit for this car. They're relatively inexpensive, maybe around $100 or so. So I figure, you know what? When you're in it this far, you might as well just go ahead and just replace all the little things so you don't have to mess with it later. I got a new thermostat, neck, gaskets, everything. I got that coming on the way as well from LMR. A lot of parts here are from LMR. They do a great job with these cars, or any Mustangs for that matter, Lightnings, anything like that. So just want to give you a quick overview of what we did. Like I said, I gotta have to take the lower back off and get in with the brushes and clean out the ports a little bit, because the injector, the fuel rail was not wanting to fit very correctly for some reason. So we think there might be some carbon buildup in there. So we're gonna give that a shot, give it cleaned, and hopefully that works. And we won't have any problems with the lower anymore. Like I said, we worked on it a couple hours yesterday, got a lot done, but there's still a lot more to do. And just picked up some of these real nice fender covers from Amazon here. I was using some microfiber towels just so we don't scratch the car. I mean, the paint's not perfect, but it took me about 8 to 10 hours to wet sand this car last year and ceramic coated it. So I don't really want to mess with the paint as much as possible. Being black, and this car has been repainted, so clear coat is a little bit softer. So I'm trying to preserve it as much as I can. But like I said, this is not going to be perfect as much as I want it to be. I need to realize that this car is older than me. It's a year older than me, actually. So 32 years old. So it's not going to be perfect as much as I would like it to be. But it's going to be a really nice car. It's already got really good bones. So that's why I'm willing to go ahead and put some money into this car. Really haven't shelled out a whole lot of money. But it's going to be nice when I'm done with it. Really appreciate my dad coming out and helping me out. We're going to, obviously, once engine's back together, change oil with Schaefer's oil. I think I'm going to do 5W30, their racing oil in this. Obviously put some of their, the Ultra fuel stabilizer as well, because this car has been sitting for a few months. So just get the fuel stabilized, get it all good to go. And we're going to take Schaefer's oil, and they just now came out with ULV transmission fluid. So if you guys anybody knows about the new 10 speeds for the Fords and the GMs, they take a new special fluid, ULV, ultra low viscosity. So it's not a lot of brands make it. So finally Schaefer's has come out with one. So we are going to, just got it on order. We're doing the 10 speed in my wife's Explorer ST, my 2024 F-150, and my dad's 2020 F-150. we'll be taking the BG machine and we'll be flushing the complete system. So it takes around 16, 17 quarts to completely flush the whole system. So it's not cheap, but it will help the transmission shift a lot better, and it's just an overall better fluid. Any type of full synthetic transmission fluid you can get into these 10 speeds, no matter if it's GM or Ford, it will help out a lot. Helps out with the heat, and helps out with friction wear, anything like that on the clutch packs. There's a lot of moving parts in these clutches and in these transmissions that you want to make sure that it's lubricated correctly. Ford does a great job with their fluid, but it's not, don't quote me, but I don't believe it's full synthetic. And it's recommended by a lot of transmission builders to change that out every 20,000 miles if you're going to use the OEM spec fluid. I'm hoping to be able to get about 40 to 50,000 miles out of this transmission fluid from Schaefer's. Like I said, it's newer, so a lot of people are still trying it out. So I will give you feedback on the before and after the shifting. I've had every 10-speed you can have. I've had 10R80, I've had 10R60, which is in the ST. I've had multiple 10R80s in that fact, and I've had a 10R140 that was in my Super Duty. So I've gone through all the 10 speeds. I do love the 10-speed transmission. Before, it is definitely a learning curve when you're going on with getting the 10-speed. It does shudder, but once you get a tune in it, it does help out a lot. Helps from the shifting, help the skip shift, all that kind of stuff. But it is something you have to get used to. The 10-speed is something, and I believe the 8 speeds too in the GMs are similar. I'm not sure. Ford does make an 8-speed. They do make a 7-speed. I had an 8-speed in my Maverick. Was not bad. I like the transmission. It shifted really fast. And that's the biggest thing here is these transmissions, just the technology in them, they shift so quick. That's why a lot of people are going to these things for race cars, because you can't outshift these things. As much as I love manuals, you can't outshift these automatics. There's just no way. They did a great job. It's just they just got a lot of quirks, and a lot of people don't like them because of that. But like I said, this is just kind of an overview of what we did on the car so far. It's coming a long way. Like I said, I'll try to get some pictures and maybe a couple clips of me powder coating it. That will be in a later video. I'm not sure when we're gonna be able to do it. I think I'm gonna go to Eastwood over here in Parma, close to my house here. We're gonna get some supplies for that, for the powder coating and for the sandblasting. So, well, that will be probably in the next couple weeks. I'll get a video out for that. I think the next video is gonna be an overview, kind of like what I did with my F-150, of my Explorer ST, my 2025. There is a lot more coming to that car. There's not much more I can do really on it. Would like to do downpipes on it at some point. Got to put the summer wheels back on it. So that'll be something coming in the next couple weeks once the weather breaks and is continuous and there's not much salt left on the ground. So the wheels for that are in the corner there. I actually have to take that to Discount Tire to have them look at the TPMS sensors. For some reason, they're not reading on the car ever since I put those wheels on. So I got to figure out what's going on with that. Like I said, that'll be in a later video. Lot to come. Just waiting for this weather to break. And main focus right now is getting this car going. So if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for a lot of my videos. It's really getting interesting. I really do like doing this type of content. Just bear with me. I have a lot coming. It's just getting videos out with my family, just my son being smaller. So it's just getting the content out as much as I can and having the weather cooperate as well. So I appreciate it. Thanks again.